What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos. So, welcome to a new, exciting, explosive episode of Take It to the Table. I am joined by none other than the regular guest of the show, Soul and Ignacio. How you doing, guys?
Good, we're dandy.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got, like I
Pretty
said, we got a
good, but
jam-packed episode. Ooh. All right. Looks like Ignacio's got a slight lag regarding his connection. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully, it will sort itself out eventually. But yeah, there's a slight delay. But yeah, we'll carry on. So like I said, we got a jam-packed episode today. We're gonna be talking about all the latest news in the wrestling world today. So such as Monday Night Raw, possibly more than likely going TV-14. The PG era is finally over. And obviously, how will that work? Would it be better or worse for the product? We'll look into that. We're going to talk about the state of their women's tag team division. Is this pretty much like what division? But I mean,
fucking dead, buried.
Pretty much dead. Like they took it to the back of the shed. And
I would say more it's cremated than hanging on the shelf.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, so we're going to talk about the state of that and what could, like, is it worth even bringing it back, all that kind of stuff. Ignacio is going to be talking about the whole state of tag team wrestling as a whole. That's going to be fun, I'm sure. As well as Soul wants to delve into ROH when their next pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor. So yeah, and obviously we're going to look into the card and see how, our predictions and, if it's going to be hot or not. So yeah, as that's what we got lined up. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, and everything else for the channel goes a long way, helps the algorithm to let them know that you appreciate us, you like us. All right. So without further ado, let us take it to the table. All right. So as I said at the start of the show, and I'm pretty sure you've been hearing the rounds of it on Twitter because everyone was going ape shit about this. Monday Night Raw is rumored to be going TV-14, which used to be the old rating for the show that they do during the Attitude Era and also the Ruthless Aggression Era. Right now it's just Monday Night Raw, not SmackDown. There was talks about it was going to happen this Monday, as of this recording, Monday the 18th. But that's all been cooled down. The email that had that date was sent out prematurely because the USA officials ain't too on board with for them to go to TV-14. So they're still negotiating, I believe. But it looks like it is pretty much going to happen eventually because I mean Pat McAfee even mentioned it during his promo last night on SmackDown. He said, yeah, we're not going TV-14 yet, but Baron Bum-ass Corbin is this and that, whatever it was. So they are aware of it. It's going to happen sooner or later. I just wanted to obviously get your thoughts from you guys to see if could WWE benefit from this. From what I've heard is that they're not looking. It's not going to be a huge overhaul. It's not like it's going to be for the 24/7 championship and it's going to be blood and swearing nonstop. That's what I'm not expecting. But it should be a bit more of an edge, or if anything, more edgier content. So my question to you guys: do you think it will benefit with that? Could they do good with it? And like, what type of parts of the show do you think they're gonna probably amp up the content? So yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts. What about you, Soul? I'll start with you.
Well, I mean, that's my 24/7 championship Brian Patty match, dream match out the window, so fine, fair enough. But the thing is, you can make your product TV-14 or whatever the fuck the US rating is over there. But if you still got the shit creative behind the wheel, all you've done is basically said, yeah, you can throw in a few swear words and boob jokes and then you're good. Is it still going to make good TV? I don't know. I mean, we all know sex sells, violence sells. That's the kind of shit people like this day and age. Will that make the product more engaging? Possibly. Or is it just going to be WWE with a few extra sprinkles of sugar in it?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of are delving into the sex sales market with NXT 2.0, with what they're doing with Toxic Attraction. There's a lot of love stories. All that, like NXT 2.0 is just it's
Needs to
its
go in
own
fucking
world.
horny jail. Needs to go horny jail. Bonk it on the head and send it right to horny jail.
Yeah, pretty much. So and yeah, you're right. WWE, like the main roster, is very capable of doing something like that. Like, for example, Edge and Lita, the live sex celebration. Everyone remembers that, don't they? So they can definitely do it. It is possible. Me personally, I don't really want to see that on my TV. I would rather, I'm fine with it being edgier and whatnot, but I don't want it to be just edgier in terms of, yeah, like you said, yeah, bra and panties matches, or blood for the sake of it.
A good other way to look at it is what AEW is doing on the next coming episode of Dynamite. They're having a fucking barbed wire death match between the Painmaker, Jericho, and Eddie Kingston. Now, you could be saying, oh, they're just throwing a match together, but there's a story behind it. This has been a story that's been brewing since Revolution. And it's kind of, if this is the culmination of that feud, then hey, a perfect way to end it in a violent, gory death match that both competitors have talked about wanting to fucking eviscerate each other, like Scottish versus English.
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah, it's same as how we treated Hell in a Cell. That was always used to be for blood feuds, and that was the be all end all. Now it's just the value has diminished incredibly. It's ridiculous. So yeah, if it's done tastefully and it warrants it, then yeah, I'm cool with it. With the TV-14 rating. But then again, they don't really follow their own books. Like this is a company, even though it was TV PG, flipping Vince dropped the F-bomb to his own son on live TV. Not too long ago, Shayna Baszler said she was going to beat the living shit out of Becky Lynch. All these different crazy stuff. Like, just, they don't really follow their own rules. But I mean, yeah, this TV-14, it could, if done tastefully, then yeah, it could work. But like you said, they would have to really revamp their creative team for it to really work. And right now,
maybe Raw will become like Raw Underground, and we're gonna have girls dancing around the cages like TNA 2006, something like that.
Oh god, I hope not. I hope not. So, what's your thoughts on the choice of Raw going to TV-14, Ignacio? Do you think it's is it good for business, best for business, as they used to say? Do you think it will benefit, or do you think it's a bad idea? What's your thoughts?
No, I don't think anything's going to change. Just in regards to maybe the main event, whoever's in the main event picture, they'll probably just try dipping their toe and making the content a little bit more racy, maybe a little bit more. I don't know what TV-14 means in the UK. Here in the US, I was like, well, what the fuck are they going to do? Does that mean more juvenile, more fart jokes and fuckers riding on unicorns and throwing cereal in the crowd? Or I don't know what exactly TV-14 is actually going to mean. I just think they're going to try to emulate maybe what's going on in AEW. You don't need to curse and be vulgar and all this stuff to get promos over or get attention from the crowd or the audience or the internet wrestling community or whatever the fuck. You just have to attach good stories, and good stories have good verbiage. So, I mean, we've seen that in the past in WWE and AEW. They don't necessarily need more racy content. The stories just need to get better. If this gives them the opportunity to make the stories better, that's fine. But the worst thing they can do is oversaturate us with TV-14 stuff. Every segment try to be more racier or more over the top than the other. That's going to be Vince Russo booking now. I think maybe they could have gone. This is probably impossible. It'll probably be another 5, 10, 15, 20 years or whatever. I doubt it. If they can benefit maybe from going NC-17 and going a little bit more racy, but not over the edge, just appropriate enough to, for example, if a match needs blood, then go to a gusher, right? And something that would be in a main event thing, something like a Brock. I'll just give this for an example because it's the feud that's, I don't know, been standing the test of time for 7 years. Some people say yay, some people say nay. But let's say, for example, a Brock Lesnar and a Roman Reigns feud, right? If they can go blood, they can go blood or whatever. Then give them a gusher. but don't have that every other match, because the audience is gonna get tired of it. It's gonna grow old fast. I don't think very much is gonna change, because it's from what we know, it's the same people in charge of creative. It's Vince McMahon still there. They haven't ousted him yet. Bruce Pritchard's still there. They haven't ousted him yet. I don't know how much creative influence Triple H has. Probably none at the moment. Or Paul Heyman, probably none at the moment. It's the same guys in charge. They're going to be doing the same juvenile crap I think that they're doing now. It's just to another next level. Don't be surprised if you see fuckers jumping out of cakes. We saw the New Day dressed like idiots on Friday SmackDown. Yesterday. So if that's anything that's to come, well, there you have it.
Yeah, that costume thing.
I must say now, I want to see Ignacio's top 10 New Day outfits list now.
Top 10 New Day outfits?
Yeah. What's your favorite? What's the one? Is it the one where they dress like unicorns or Final Fantasy characters or all that good shit?
I don't know. It's fucking ridiculous. I wish they never existed in the wrestling business. I wish they never existed in the
yes, they can go living and breathing elsewhere, but in wrestling business, for shame.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna lie.
We don't bother anybody or something.
the Viking Raiders definitely gave me the old day vibes. I don't know why. Remember that cringe old day segment? I think when we were feuding with the OC or whatever it was. But yeah, I don't think not much is gonna happen. I think it's just an excuse for them to like probably say the odd swear word as long as it's not forced. Because sometimes when I watch AEW, depending on the person, sometimes it does sound kind of forced. Like sometimes when like Jade Cargill, all of a sudden it's her catchphrase now to say like "cut the shit," and I'm just like, it doesn't sound natural. You know what I mean? Certain people say again.
How dare you diss the queen?
I'm not dissing her. I love her. She is bae, but I'm just saying, like sometimes it's just like I don't know. It's a bit forced sometimes. So I think she's still trying to find herself, understand that.
Well, how about for this? We put our tinfoil hat on. What if the reason why Raw's gone to this ring is because they're going to try and bring in MJF?
No, nah. He's as much as I would love to think that, but nah, it's not because of that.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you're saying that a lot of the content that they're coming up with, if you want to call them the writers, the comedy writers or whatever, a lot of the content that they're coming out with for these wannabe thespians that they want to turn these wrestlers into thespians, a lot of the content that they're creating for them doesn't match their character.
Yeah.
And then I think in turn that the talent tries too hard to get it over. And I think a good example of that is Drew McIntyre, because I don't think Drew McIntyre is an awful promo. It's horrendous whenever he tries to.
It can be cringe.
It's horrible when he tries to articulate the content that they give him. I think sometimes he's a little bit over the top, or doesn't come out like you say with Jade Cargill. Doesn't come out as natural. I have seen him cut good promos before. When he was in Impact, he cut some good promos here and there. But I think it's because they just let him go and let him be natural. Now he's not being natural. He's trying to spew out the bullshit that they give him, and it just comes out awful. He's a horrible promo.
Yeah. No, I agree with some of his promo stuff. It's almost to the point where it's like he's just like phoning it in, or like he genuinely doesn't care what he says. Like he's just having too much fun with it, and it just like you can't take him seriously. There was even a point where he was going all historian on us, like he was quoting Churchill quotes, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing?
Being racist.
I'm not. I'm just saying it was just so it just didn't fit right. And he was talking about the Loch Ness monster. I'm just like, what?
Hey, that's the national fucking hero. I have you know.
Oh my god.
Drew McIntyre?
No, the fucking Loch Ness monster, bro. That's
the Loch Ness monster.
Oh.
Drew McIntyre, national hero. You're really clutching at straws. But yeah, I don't think that not much is going to happen with the TV-14 thing. I think it's just them way of just trying to have an excuse to get away with more things. They more than likely, if anything, it's going to most likely affect the women. More than likely, because like I said, they are desperate to get that 18 to 45 demographic or whatever it is, 18 to 36. AEW is continuously crushing them with that. So this is the only way for them to do it, and because I believe NXT is doing all right where they are, but because of the content that they have, as well as
sells,
the
boy.
60-plus-year-olds are loving it as well. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, I do miss if they went to maybe like some parts of the content that they did in the Ruthless Aggression era. I don't think that was as extreme as the Attitude Era. I mean, there was some questionable stuff in the Ruthless Aggression era as well, but I don't think it was that bad. I don't. Did you watch the Ruthless Aggression era, Soul?
Nope.
Yeah, because you came in quite late, didn't you? Yeah. So
I came in fucking what was it? Oh yeah, 2019.
Fuck me. Okay, you have a lot to catch up on. Okay, but I think if you actually watch back, don't go all the way back to the Attitude Era. I think some of that is definitely dated. But if you started in certain parts of the Ruthless Aggression era, you would watch that as much as you do with AEW, I think, and be like, why did they change it? Why did they,
I mean,
now,
if you just want to see my wrestling knowledge, go back to our WrestleMania quiz where I fucking sweat anything past fucking 2009.
It was just like no searches found. But yeah, for them to actually, if they actually went to, it was the NC-17. I mean, say goodbye to those Make-A-Wish sponsorships. I don't think they want to drop that.
Say goodbye to the bullying campaign shit.
Say again?
Say goodbye to all the bullying campaign stuff they do.
Yeah, the bullying campaign, Be a Star. Like, you can obviously think about that as well with their sponsorships, and they love their shit. And yeah, on blood money from Saudi Arabia, which we'll not get into. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We got a little glimpse of that when Heyman. There's also talk about Heyman possibly going back into creative again. Do you think that could definitely could it benefit from that? I mean, they tried it before, and for some reason he got ousted again. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you think he would fit that, or do you think he's a bit too he's not the right fit to bring out this TV-14?
I mean, Heyman's a creative mind in himself. He's probably one of the greatest creative-wise. He can do some great shit. He knows stars when he sees them. He saw Punk for his ACW revival. He saw Aleister Black when he was in WWE. He saw him as a star as well. Bobby Lashley. He saw a lot of good talent, but a lot of just restricting them. Obviously, who the big wigs want to push. If he's given free reins with this new rating, could he do some great stuff? Possibly. It's just really, at this point, like many things, wait and see.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Okay, so yeah, moving swiftly on from that TV-14 rumor, let's go into the state of the tag team division, so to speak, which I'm sure Ignacio would love to delve into. In his words, he thinks that it's in a current state of emergency. So if you would please delve into what you mean, Ignacio.
Oh, okay. So this is in response to the abysmal Wednesday night Dynamite main event that we had.
Oh, come on.
Hold on.
What is your malfunction?
Viewers, please remember, love your children or they turn out like
it was the young Bucks who had who were the champions, the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks, and then we got Keith Lee and Swerve Scott. Swerve Scott, right? Swing Scott or what have you, and then who's the other team here? I lost my notes.
Your guys. You're flipping Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs.
Starks and Hobbs, who should have won the fucking titles, but they didn't. But I'll get back to that later. So after Wednesday night, the tag team divisions, I'm talking about not in AEW, all over the fucking world, is in a state of emergency here. Let me read something off to you guys. This is going to take a little bit, but I mean, just you'll get what I'm going at.
Please, I'm waiting.
It's going to be a little winded, but so I'll start off in the mid 80s and into the late 80s, but I'm going to read off some names here. Hart Foundation, British Bulldogs, Rougeaus, Demolition, Rockers, Brainbusters, Brainbusters were Tully Blanchard and Honor Anderson. The Rougeaus that I mentioned them, the Killer Bees, the Orient Express, the Russians,
That's original.
Seven out of those, what, 10 teams are fucking legitimate, all Hall of Famer fucking tag teams. Now let's go to the other channel. Let's go to the NWA. Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, Doom, Fabulous Freebirds, Road Warriors, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. Let's see here. The Steiner Brothers, the Fantastics. That's mid-80s to late 80s. So we got 7 or 8, 9 legitimate tag teams in each promotion here. Let's go to the early 90s, and you'll see where I'm going. Early 90s, Nasty Boys, Natural Disasters, Money Inc., which was Ted DiBiase and Mike Rotundo, Bray Wyatt's father, by the way. Head Shrinkers, who are also the Samoan SWAT team in the NWA. We'll put them back over there. Quebecers, Men on a Mission. On the other side, we got Makeshift Tag Teams. This is where it all starts. Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham, who are an awesome tag team. They were only around for about a year. We got Arn Anderson, who had like 5 different partners in this era. We had Bobby Eaton. We had Larry Sabisco. We had Barry Windham. Anybody he teamed them up with was fucking awesome. Even Paul Roma. Nasty Boys. We go to the mid-90s, and this is where it starts taking a drip. We got DX, which was Billy Gunn, and I'm counting Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, which was a fucking disaster. They were a fucking comedy gimmick like no other. Yeah. We got the Hog Farmers, the Pig Farmers, the Godwins. We got DOA, the bullshit biker gang. We got Los Boricuas, Savio Vega's group. Do you remember any of these people?
I know some of them. I do know not the last one, but I do know some of them.
Okay,
I saw some of them in history.
All right, exactly. You're getting to my point here. On WCW, we had Harlem Heat, we had the Nasty Boys, we had the Blue Bloods, which was Regal and Eaton, and then later Regal and Triple H for a little while before he went to WWE. And that was it. Then we had Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. We had Public Enemy, who came from ECW, the first garbage promotion in North America. That ruined the wrestling business eventually. So that's it. And now we're going to go into the early 2000s, and who we basically had was the Dudley Boys, because WCW didn't exist at the time, and their tag team division was trash. We got Dudley Boys, we got Hardys, and we got Edge and Christian. We got and the APA, who were the top tag teams from about 98 to about 2003, the Attitude Era, basically. Mm-hmm. Can you guys name a tag team of any legitimacy from 2003 to 2010?
What about the second City Saints, CM Punk and Colt Cabana?
Okay. What was that? I just had some. There's some good, like Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin was good. The world's greatest tag team.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
What about Brian Kendrick and Paul London?
Brian Kendrick and Paul London. Yeah. Shiza. There's definitely a couple.
I love Trevor Murdoch and Lance Cade.
Yes, they were good. Yes.
So we got 3. So we named 3 from 2003 to 2010. We can't name anybody else. That's fucking embarrassing. We're making my point. I'm gonna go on here. So from 2010 to, let's say, present time, we got the Usos, who are pretty good, not great, and I'll get to that in a minute. And then we got, if you want to count them, throw them in there, because I think they're the most embarrassing tag team of all time, other than the Young Bucks, the New Day. Shouldn't have even been in the fucking wrestling business. Other than that, who do we got?
FTR.
Yes.
We got FTR.
Jurassic Express.
Yep. The Briscoes.
I'll give you the Briscoes. Jurassic Express. I'm not even going to acknowledge that comment.
Private Party.
Private Party can be good as long as they drop that they have to be taken seriously. They have potential to be serious, but they're not there yet.
We went from the mid 80s to late 80s to having almost 10 tag teams per promotion, legitimate tag teams with legitimate Hall of Famers, all the way you can count the ones today on one hand.
Ignacio, I could probably name you another 10 tag teams, but I know you're just gonna fucking hate them. You're gonna be like, "Ooh, this is not exquisite enough for me."
I'll give you another one: Sheamus and Cesaro. How about Claudio? How about the Kings of Wrestling?
Yeah, the bar was good.
How about Claudio and I forgot his name. The Kings of Wrestling, Claudio and Jesus. Anyway, they were great in ROH.
What about like Dark Order, Varsity Blondes, or and
No. I think what he means is, like I said, more like legit solidified tag teams, like off the top of your head? The Varsity Blondes, it would take me a while to really think.
What about the Good Brothers? The Good Brothers are pretty.
Okay.
You're reinforcing my point here that this tag team division all over the world has been abysmal for the past 10 years. This Wednesday night, Keith Lee is the worst wrestler in the world right now.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. All right then.
He can't wrestle. He cuts shit promos. His promos don't match his character. He tries to do flippy shit. He's 400 pounds leaping over the top rope, depending on 4 or 5 individuals to catch him. This individual is a hazard.
Ignacio, please don't stress me out. I have a full head of hair. I want to fucking keep it.
Swerve Scott, he's got some personality. Swerve Scott, he's got a skill set. Swerve Scott can cut a promo, but as long as he's attached to Keith Lee, he's doomed. He does the flippy shit just like everybody else because he does spots for spots' sake. It's a makeshift tag team, and AEW is going the route that WWE is. They put these guys together, and they made them champions in hopes to get them both over. Well, it's not going to work. It's abysmal. It's embarrassing. It's a direct correlation of what's going on in the tag team division nowadays. If FTR allows Tony Khan for these guys to beat them, then I'll lose all respect for FTR. FTR is the best tag team of the modern era, and for the Marxists, well, the Young Bucks, whatever, fine, fuck, have it. But FTR is the best tag team of the modern era. But can they call themselves one of the best tag teams of all time? I mean, they don't have, the only other tag team that they have to compete with them is the Briscoes. I mean, like I said, Hart Foundation had the Bulldogs, they had Demolition, they had the Road Warriors, they had the Rockers, they had the Brainbusters. I mean, the Dudleys had Edge and Christian, they had the Hardys, they had the APA. Who does FTR have to compare to? Nobody. So they may be the best tag team of this era, and I agree they are. And could they have competed against these other teams in their era? Yeah, I guess. Okay, I would agree with that. But are they one of the greatest tag teams of all time? No, I don't think they can say that because of the state of the tag team division that they're in right now. They don't have anybody that can keep up with them. And Wednesday night was a direct reflection of what I'm talking about. That this is embarrassing. What AEW is doing to tag team wrestling is embarrassing, and the reason why I say that is because they have, quote unquote, the best tag team division in the world right now. But look at what they're doing to it. They're destroying it piece by piece. This is abysmal. Keith Lee should not be in the wrestling business. Neither should Swerve Scott. If this is where the direction they're going to be taking him, it's embarrassing. This is awful. Trash.
Right. Okay. So I agree with you in certain parts. Definitely agree with you in certain parts. There's certain parts that I have to but so this thing with Keith Lee and Swerve. First off, I love them. I think they do have a worthy place. Keith Lee, ever since he had his health issue, I can see that he hasn't been the same. And the way they're going around booking him is a bit wishy-washy. Now, for them to actually win the titles, that was really out of nowhere, considering that the Young Bucks only had it for less than a month. I don't know what is their reasoning for them to give it to them. It was very random. But I'm not hating on it. I'm just seeing where they go from here. But I mean, I was expecting the Young Bucks to obviously win. Have to make them have a lengthy title run until it's going to be Young Bucks versus FTR 2. That's what
everybody thought. Everybody thought we were going to get FTR versus Young Bucks with ball belts on the line. Fair enough, but you don't want to keep doing. They've already had a match this year. You want to make that match between Young Bucks and FTR special because it's always a great match to go on. And the reason why I see the Young Bucks dropping is because the Young Bucks are a very good transitional champion. If you put it on the Young Bucks, you could be like, oh, it's just the EVPs giving themselves good booking. And then if they hold it for short reign and drop it, because there is a problem in AEW that I'm more than admit, me being an AEW fanboy, is the heel to face ratio is a bit off.
Yes.
It's not perfect. As we've just seen, the Acclaimed have turned face. So if Swerve in Our Glory, the tag team name, learn it, are now face champions, we can now have a heel team take it off them. And there's many good heel teams in AEW's tag division. There's the House of Black, Brody King and Malachi Black. They could take it off them. There's the Gun Club as well. That would help elevate young talent. And if the Gun Club take off, then the Acclaim could win it because they're already in a feud. And I feel like that feud with a tag championship could elevate that feud.
No, yeah, I do like that. That can make sense. Now, and I do see your point, Ignacio, with in terms of obviously there was a lot of notable tag teams back in the 80s and 90s compared to now. Like even WWE's tag team division is completely bare bones now. Usos of like all they have now is what it's basically the New Day and the Street Profits. And we've seen them clash numerous times. That's what I'm saying. So they also are running dry. And yeah, you're right. There's in terms of there are tag teams obviously out there, but in terms of like notable, reputable tag teams, it's very, very low. Like there's obviously the AEW, obviously they got Roppongi Vice, but who cares about them? House of Black can be a big tag team, but that's going to take years and years of them being together and whatnot. So yeah, so you probably are right. It's probably the reputable names are the Usos, and who else did you say?
Young Bucks.
Currently.
I mean, you got.
Yeah.
Let's take it back to FTR.
And FTR.
So they give FTR the ROH tag team titles. ROH doesn't exist. Who's in the ROH tag team division other than the Briscoes? Nobody. The IWGP, Japan hasn't given a shit about their tag team titles. Probably, maybe.
I didn't even know if they even had tag team titles, to be honest.
Since the Young Bucks, I guess, if you want to throw them in there or whatever. So essentially, they have, and then AAA. Give me a break. That's a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
just that's fine. I'll give you that. AAA. The only good thing about AAA is a battery.
Let me make this point. If AAA and Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling care so much about their tag team titles, then why do they always give them to foreigners? Fucking embarrassing. Anyway.
Yeah.
So essentially, right now, FTR has 3 championships that essentially mean nothing. I mean, Jesus.
I'll tell you something funny because that New Japan have actually 2 tag belts. They have a heavyweight belt and a junior tag belt as well, which is kind of funny.
I did. Fair enough. I never knew that. Honest to God, I when you think about it, I didn't really think they even had a tag team division because I don't know who are the tag team champions right now.
I don't know who the champions are now, but I know
obviously the heavyweight champions are FTR, but I don't know who the hell the junior ones are.
Tag team champions.
Show and Yo or whatever the fuck.
Junior tag team champions.
United Empire, TJP and Francesco Akita.
Oh, United Empire. Okay, see, they didn't even come up with them titles when they're in AEW or doing Forbidden Doors.
Well, actually, sorry, hang on. They actually have 3 tag team championships. They're now introducing a New Japan Strong.
Not cool. Totally lame.
They're introducing a New Japan Strong Tag Team Championship, which is being defended in a tournament right now. Such names are the Dark Order, Allen Angels, and Evil Uno versus United Empire, and then there's a few other guys. That tournament's ongoing, so they'll have 3 tag team titles.
Beating a dead horse.
I don't know. It sounds like, are you all agreeing with me that this tag team division is just all over the world? It's just abysmal.
I would say if I had to go through the companies, WWE is abysmal. That honestly, they could get rid of the tag team division and that in a whole. TNA's okay. It could be a lot better. They've got guys like Bound by Design.
It's not TNA anymore. I'm just saying.
Oh, fucking Impact, whatever it is. We all know whatever the fuck it's called. Good Brothers, Bound by Design. They've got potential in there. If it grows and they give it more love, then it can be grand. AEW it's great. I love a lot of the tag teams in there. The only a couple that I didn't really like. Some that have been released and let partners go. Some I really did like. Young Bucks, FTR, House of the Black Thrones. I like all those guys. Dark Order as well. New Japan's limiting. Obviously, it's really pretty much United Empire is running amok with the tag divisions, which are great. I like United Empire. Osprey's great. That's fine. And GCW's tag belts. The less we talk about them, the better.
See, now what I do see what your point is. It is in a certain state of emergency right now, compared to obviously how it was in the golden era. Like you said, it was obviously the Legion of Doom, the not bushwhackers, not bushwhackers. All them other teams. It's definitely been diminishing almost every decade, almost to it. Like there's no one. There are tag teams, but no one notable like as they are.
What about women's tag team wrestling?
Yes, which I wanted to obviously get into now. I mean, the status of that is completely. I mean, obviously, we all know about what happened with Naomi and Sasha. I remember a few days after that happened, SmackDown, Michael Cole openly said that there's going to be a tournament in due course to crown some new tag team champions. We've been waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks, and
that's not happened yet, has it?
Not happened. And basically, it's to the point where internally within WWE circle, the tag team titles are not even mentioned or even on the sheets of paper. So it is pretty much been taken to the back of the shed and been shot between its eyes.
Let's talk. I want to take the lead for this one, if you may. I'm taking the wheel. I'm taking the fucking wheel for this one. WWE's women's tag team division was a fucking joke ever since the Iconics lost them. I like the Iconics, who became the Influence. Peyton Royce, all that good stuff. I really like those. I thought they were funny, good tag team. And then I couldn't remember who they dropped it to, but then ever since the Iconics lost it, went down the shitter. They were basically just handed it around. The most iconic thing to become those belts was Nia Jax holding them and then jumping on the apron and screaming "my hole." That.
Yeah,
and then you have the audacity to introduce another women's tag team belt in NXT.
Yes. Yeah. Which is actually being treated better.
Yeah, and then Toxic Attraction lost it to Roxy, who was a Ring of Honor World Women's Championship, and Cora Jade. And then I think, from what I saw on social media, Cora Jade turned heel on Roxy, and then they dropped the belts to Toxic Attraction again.
I don't know I think they're still champions. I think that they're currently champions right now, even though she turned on her. It's freaking weird.
It's like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins all over again.
Pretty much, yeah. And I remember there was this botch thing where like the
skateboard fucking flipped apart, and just as it was coming down, it was like, I could work with you, but I'm not. I'm bouncing out.
Yeah, they're still champions.
The best women tag team division right now is Impact. I said it right this time. Is Impact.
Yeah. Just barely. Yeah, if you really watch
it. Fair point, but still solid. They've got a lot of great, gal teams in there. They've got Rosemary and Havoc, I believe, is one as well. They've got Deanna Prazo, I think, is in a tag team with someone else. It's better by much, no, but it's at least a stable foundations. Could AEW introduce women tag team belts? It seems like that's something they're going with the Baddies, Thunderstorm, which is Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm.
Yep.
They've got Ty J, which was Anna J, and Ty Conti. Besides it, there's Nyla Rose and Maria Shafir, unless we're going to see Vicky Guerrero come into the ring as the Vixens.
God. Oh my God. I mean, it's me personally. I think that when the Iconics won it, and because they were a joke team, it kind of made the titles a joke. Like the value diminished immediately, and it only took when Bayley and Sasha Banks won it back again. That's when it made it a bit more tolerable, more palpable, if you will. So I'm looking at the reign. So obviously Bayley and Sasha had it first. Then the Iconics won it. That's when they walked out. Then it was Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross that beat them for it.
Oh yeah.
And then the Kabuki Warriors. Remember them?
Yeah. Oh they God. Won it. Yeah. Asuka and Kairi Sane, eh?
Yep. And then it was Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross again. Then it was Bayley and Sasha Banks that won it, and they kept it for a while, up until August. And then that was when Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler won it. Then randomly, Asuka and Charlotte Flair. I was like, what the fuck? And then it was Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler again. But like I say, I think up until when Bayley and Sasha Banks had it the second reign, that's when it was getting a bit better. And then as soon as Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler won, I think the only memorable thing I remember of them was, like you said, Nia Jax saying "my hole" and putting Lana through a table every week, literally. So yeah,
didn't we have a women's tag team thing at WrestleMania
Yeah, it was like an eliminator or whatever it was, like a tournament thing. And then that's when it was looking likely that it was going to be Tamina and Natalia to win at WrestleMania, but it chose not to do it and wait until a random SmackDown for them to eventually win the titles. It was fucking stupid.
What even were all the teams?
What teams? I mean, wait, hold on.
I know it was just a bunch of mishmash single wrestlers put together, but what the fuck? What even were all the teams?
There was a lot of. So wait, when? It's not actually telling me when it was Natalia. Oh yeah, let me go back. Let me go back to that match. What's your thoughts on the women's tag team wrestling? Do you miss it, Ignacio? While I look into this,
I try not even to acknowledge it. I just gave you a whole soliloquy on what I think about tag team wrestling. You think I think any different of the women? Look, if the women want everything the men have. We want a tag team division. We want equal TV
equality.
time. We want our own pay-per-view. We want all this. We want all that. If the women look, I love Charlotte. I love Becky. Love Sasha. Love Bailey. Love Thunder Rosa. So on. There's women. I love watching those individuals wrestle. I love watching women's wrestling when it's good, when there's good competitors out there and women that actually take the business seriously. But if you made an all-women's show, or if you gave the women half the TV time that they give the men, ratings would plummet. I mean, if you gave the women the women think they're so badass, and fuck, give them their own show. It would fail abysmally. It would be horrible.
Oh dear.
I think they would. I think they just need to focus on top contenders for their various championships that they have, or Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship, and just that's it. Just focus on that. If you want to have tag team matches, that's fine. Incorporate rivalries that you have already in process. Like, for example, Ronda and whoever she's feuding against, tag teaming with somebody else and whoever they're feuding with or whatever to continue a story or filler or whatever. But, women's tag team titles, Becky and I'm sorry, Sasha and Bailey were, the top, the epitome, and then just plummeted after that. Right? Why? Because they just started throwing women tag teams together, singles competitors together, like Nikki Ass and Rhea Ripley, or all that stuff. And it just, we're not good enough to chase the women's title, or we've already lost too many times, so we're just going to go after the tag titles. That's always the story around that.
I would have really liked to see Ronda and Shayna Baszler as a tag team because they've got MMA history.
Yeah, that would be cool. But I don't think they're going to waste Ronda Rousey for the tag team titles. That's only if they really wanted to care for it.
I think we can all agree that the women tag belts actually look nice. They do look really nice.
They're all right. They're okay. Yeah, they're okay. But it's just a shame because they got so many talented people, and it should be like you said. If you got all these women, that is. Well, now it's pretty much bare bones because they released like 90% of them. But I mean, like, if the women's title is bloated or full right now, busy, move them to the tag team division and make them actually be a more memorable team, not some mismatch like when it was Rhea Ripley against and Nikki ASH, and then it was Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, out of nowhere. It's just, and Rhea Ripley is so much bigger than the tag team titles, but that's another conversation. But yeah, it's really dire, and it's crazy how, like, what was the whole point of making them in the first place if you weren't going to care for them in the first place? It's like they're basically trying to say, well, blame Sasha Banks and Naomi. We had plans, but because they fucked off, we ain't going to care for it anymore. We're gonna punish everyone else. You know what I mean? That's what I'm also getting from this, which is a real shame. But yeah, I think it's not even on a state of emergency. I think the women's tag team division is on life support, and it really shouldn't have been in the first place. But yeah,
life support and pull the plug.
At this moment in time, yeah, definitely pull the plug because it's just not happening. It's not happening, which is a shame. So yeah, moving on from that. Another pay-per-view is coming up, and it's not SummerSlam, where we're going to see Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the 2000th time. We're going to be talking about ROH pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor. I ain't gonna lie. When this first came out and there was like only one match announced, I was like, okay, this is gonna die before even starts, kind of thing. But it's shaping up decently, and I'm liking the card. So I mean, let me just go through the card quickly. So there's only 5 matches announced so far. So the first one is Mercedes Martinez versus Serena Deeb for the ROH Women's Championship. FTR versus Briscoe Brothers 2. That's going to be a barn burner. Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia for the Pure Championship under Pure Wrestling rules, of course. Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal. I could care less about the story. I think the match is going to be good, but the storyline was trash. I ain't going front. And then the one that just got announced last night, Jonathan Gresham versus Claudio Castagnoli.
Castagnoli, get it right.
I know I'm trying. I was so close to saying Cesaro. I'm so close. But yeah, Claudio for the ROH World Championship, which is going to be fire. So would you lead the table, please? Like, I know you are a diehard ROH fan. You gave me your knowledge when you heard CM Punk's theme when he first came out for me with his ROH theme and whatnot.
Oh, Misery Cantata live was a moment of bliss.
So yeah, what's your hype levels regarding this?
So I looked back and actually just rewatched a lot of the Ring of Honor people. I've rewatched Final Battle 2021 and then their 22 pay-per-view Supercard of Honor. And just seeing that evolution, my excitement has increased more and more because you really see like the changing of the guard. Yeah. From Final Battle 2021 with all the guys on it to then Supercard of Honor, you really see
under new management.
Yeah, very much so. And you can also see Tony Khan's sort of ideas thinking like, yeah, the guys who can't really get as much screen time on AEW who are good are going to go to this brand to get the screen time they deserve as well need. So looking at the women's match, Mercedes Martinez versus Serena Deeb. I like Mercedes Martinez, but Serena Deeb's in this. She's a talented worker who deserves a reward for her craft. Her being a women's championship will elevate any title just the way she is in the ring, everything. Her as Ring of Honor World Championship, Women's World Champion would be a bliss to see. And then we've got the tag match, FTR versus Briscoe's 2 out of 3 falls match.
Oh, is it 2 out of 3? Oh, I didn't realize that.
It's 2 out of 3 falls match.
Oh, yeah.
So that in itself, the last one at Supercard of Honor was the match of the night. Will it be match of the night again? Honestly, I highly expect it to. It won't main event because it's more likely going to be the World Championship, as every promotion does. World Championship is elevated to the top.
Yep.
These two are chemistry gold. I see FTR obviously retaining this because I don't know. The thing is, it shows where's Ring of Honor going. Is it going to be on TNT programming? Is it going to be a streaming service sort of thing? Is it only going to be pay-per-view sort of stuff? We don't know at this point, but there's a lot more coming out of it for the promotion. Then we got Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, Pure Championship. Interesting. Very interesting. Yuta has been elevated ever since he's been put in the Blackpool Combat Club just because of Brian Kendrick's situation, and then he was just put in, and then ever since then he's just been pretty much. I honestly don't mind whoever wins it because I feel like Daniel Garcia is a talented worker in right himself. It would add maybe a bit of distension if he wins it. Maybe he get a bit cocky in the JAS and maybe break away and then focus more on Ring of Honor. That's a possibility. Or will Yuta keep it and try and elevate himself? And then we got the TV Championship. As you said, the build for that hasn't been as great as some people would like. You know, Joe and Lethal, but it's Joe and Lethal. Yeah. Joe's a beast. Lethal's a beast. Sign me up. And then the World Championship match. This is an interesting one. As obviously Gresham turned heel in the tag match with Lee Moriarty versus the Tully Blanchard Enterprise guys. And now he's aligned with them. So what's going to happen here? Are we going to see... The way I see it is that for a new... Because it's essentially new. It's a new Ring of Honor. You want someone to run that belt properly to get eyes on the product.
Yeah.
And Claudio was a Ring of Honor guy but never won the championship. It would be a nice story of him winning it, finally coming back to Ring of Honor and running a face champion. But I like Gresham. I like the whole foundation stuff that he does. I really like the look. He's a great worker as well. If Claudio wins it, then that's It's a great thing because then it kind of gives like the Blackpool Combat Club more prestige because they've got, if obviously Utah retains, they've got the Pure Championship, and now they have Claudio, who's a world champion as well, and John Moxley. The only one who's not got gold is Bryan, which could maybe, who knows, maybe leads to some distension down the line. But all I know is with Ring of Honor, maybe we could see like a Survivor style pay-per-view, or like maybe more Ring of Honor stuff can be done at AEW's Battle of the Belts. I'm interested. I'm gonna see this show no matter what because I really am interested. And look, just I could just see down the line Bryan and Punk back in ROH fighting for the title again.
Yeah,
sign me the fuck up, please.
I need to ask obviously what your thoughts about Claudio as well. After when we conclude on this, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to watch it and see where this goes. I'm definitely looking forward to FTR versus the Briscoes. Out of any of those matches, it's going to be pretty cool. As well as Joe against Lethal. Those are the two ones I'm looking forward to, and see where it goes. Very interesting where they're going to go from here regarding if it's going to be a pay-per-view model or whatever it is. But yeah, something needs to be announced soon, I'd say, regarding what's going to happen with them.
They very well could make this a streaming show, which would be good for
probably
HBO Plus or HBO Max.
Yes,
they're under that same umbrella as Turner, and and they want more sports stuff, more streaming stuff, and that just be good because you could just bulk record a bunch of shows, and that's a bunch of content you could just release over time.
Yeah. True. What about you, Ignacio? What's your thoughts about ROH? Death Before Dishonor. You looking forward to it?
Well, I mean, look, I have some questions as far as like what exactly the plan for Ring of Honor is. I mean, do they plan on running it as a separate entity? Are they going to do a bunch of one-off shows like these pay-per-views? Are they going to keep on featuring stars on Dynamite and Rampage? And if they are, how many and who and all this stuff? And what are they going to do with the championships and all these things? Because I think they have too many championships and too many belts. And not that people get confused because the 1 million people that turn on a TV every Wednesday and Friday night know who's who. But what are they going to do to get more eyes on ROH and draw a wider audience is what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, the card looks great. I mean, Claudio, I love Jonathan Grisham. I love Claudio and I love Jonathan Grisham. And what a fucking promo he cut last night. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Old school fucking state who you are, state your purpose, state what you're gonna do to the fucking AEW roster. ... Then you got Tully Blanchard throwing his 2 cents in. Basic. Wasn't scripted, in my opinion. It was just Jonathan Gresham giving you who he is, why he's there, why he's the ROH champion, ... Yada, yada, yada. Fucking great promo. Basic. I hope people were taking notes. That match is going to be great. I love both guys. I mean, Briscoes and FTR had the best match of WrestleMania weekend. I don't think anybody who actually saw it or was there. I was there. It was tremendous, and looking forward to what they can see with 2 out of 3 falls. I mean, you got great workers up and down the card. Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal, you know, they are a little bit older. You know, this would have been a great match 5-10 years ago. Yes, they would have torn the house down, but even then they're going to come up with something better than what we see on Monday and Friday nights, and probably most of the time Wednesday nights. But it's a great card. It's going to be a good show. But I mean, where do they go from there? That's what I'm saying. Why are they doing this pay-per-view with no follow-up on what they're going to do with all these championships, with these champions and these titles? I would be remiss to say that Claudio's probably going to go over, right?
Probably, yeah.
Everybody agree? So then what do they do with Grisham? What do they do with Claudio and the title? Where does FTR go with the belts? Because I already mentioned they seem the ROH title seemingly don't mean anything because it's just them and the Briscoes. What are they going to do with the TV title? We haven't seen Samoa Joe in weeks. Well, is he hurt? Is he injured?
So Samoa Joe's actually recording for a TV show based on Twisted Metal, the video game. That's where he's been.
Oh, fuck me. Jesus Christ.
Well, you can't have outside commitments. Like, what's wrong with that? He's making money.
Jesus, I mean, whatever.
Twisted Metal's a banging game.
Yeah, fucking hell. He's playing Sweet Tooth as well.
That's my point. I mean, what do they plan on doing with ROH and all in this
Hopefully,
entity? It's
look,
just
they're start AW or whoever it is, or it's probably Tony Khan, have started like the shop for Ring of Honor is opening back up. They're selling a lot more merch. They're selling hoodies, they're selling stickers, they're selling shirts. Roster guys as well are getting new shirts as well. So hopefully at this pay-per-view, we might get something else. Maybe a TV deal, maybe something for streaming.
I'm thinking hence why the card is quite stacked. They want a lot of eyes on the show. So when they do make an announcement, everyone's going to see it. I wouldn't be surprised if they announce something.
Yeah, as well, more matches are meant to be announced. So who knows what else we could see.
Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia. I forgot to mention them. Daniel Garcia, when he's taken seriously, can actually. I mean, everybody that makes comments about his size and stuff. Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. He'll get bigger. He'll catch on. But I mean, that's another great match. It's like you see AEW and what they put on and what they have for ROH. It's like fucking night and day. There's no consistency with any of this. You know what my favorite part of ROH is? Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman. Every time Caprice Coleman shows up on AEW commentary, it's just like it's black and white. It's fucking, you get the goof offs, the sock puppet Excalibur, Jim Ross, who's now cut out of an hour because he can't keep up, Tony Schiavone, who just throws out a "hey, I'm here" and bullshit, and Taz. I've never really liked his commentary, but when Caprice Coleman shows up, it's a professional program. It's like night and day, black and white. Why haven't they signed? Why hasn't Tony Khan signed Caprice Coleman to a full-time contract as a color commentator? Or
it's probably going to stick with ROH. They want to kind of keep the brand separate.
Oh God, where's Ian Riccaboni? He did a show not too long ago, right? Was it NWA or where was he at?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Damn, dude, they need to sign these guys and they need to get rid of the commentators they have now. They're all awful, including fucking Jericho. Jesus, damn. I say pull the plug. I say get rid of half the AEW roster, like Orange Cassidy.
Oh, fuck off.
And the Young Bucks and let's say Young Fucks. Let's get rid of the Elite. Let's get up everybody in the
Man, you're just ruining it. Look at my lips. You're ruining it.
And let's sign Ian Riccaboni and let's sign Caprice Coleman. Let's sign Jonathan Gresham full time. Let's sign Daniel Garcia. Let's leave him there. Let's sign the Briscoes. And yes, I know why they won't sign them. We won't get into that. I don't want to get into that. But if they could, we'll sign them. And maybe the show, maybe Wednesday and Friday nights might be more pleasant with more ROH talent in there. Because I think, in my opinion, and I believe this even before the purchase of ROH, I was a big ROH fan. I think more people there took the wrestling business seriously than half these guys on the AEW roster, like the Best Friends or Orange Cassidy, or for anybody involved in the JAS, the Jack Off Appreciation Society, and any of those other morons, like the Dinosaur and Jungle Boy and Christ.
I like to imagine you get the opportunity to be interviewed by Tony Khan for creators. Like, so Ignacio, what can you bring to our product? What can you elevate AEW? You're like, see all the shit that makes us money and gets us views? Let's throw that out of the window. Let's just stick with this shit.
I'm not gonna get into that. That was a whole truck full. But yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see an announcement. I think it's about time that there should be an announcement. It's been a minute, so I shouldn't see why they can't do anything. Most likely a streaming deal. I think it's more palatable, if that's a word. If they go streaming instead of doing an actual TV deal, because I don't think they would do so well. And again, if they do that, then that's when all the trolls come out and start saying ROH is shit under Tony Khan and stuff. It just gives the haters something more to hate on. I think when it comes to streaming, they don't have to give out the numbers. You know, WWE doesn't give out their numbers. So yeah, I think it most likely be a streaming deal. And then just keep it there. Gonna be a good card. I think it's gonna be a good card. Should be fun. And yeah, I haven't got anything else to say that. No, that's what I was going to ask you as well. And also Ignacio. So another content creator for Wrestling Republic, WrestleManiac. Also the host is it Meeks? Is that his name?
Meeks?
Mr.
Yeah.
Meeks.
It's Meeks.
Like
Yeah.
Mr.
So he he put a recent post about Claudio, saying that he doesn't fit the Blackpool Combat Club. Obviously Combat Club is meant to be gritty, hard hitting and whatnot. Ever since Claudio's come back, he's loving it with the crowd. He's doing all this babyface stuff, which he should. He just came, and this is what fans have been clamoring for. For him to leave WWE, come to AEW, and and everything. But he doesn't have the persona of someone that should be in the Blackpool Combat Club. So I wanted to ask you guys: do you think that he was, is he a wrong fit? Is he giving the wrong impression for what Blackpool Combat Club is about? Do you think he needs to split? Hence why they putting him in this title match with Jonathan Gresham. Well, I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. What about you?
I will give Meeks fair point there. Also, he's also part of Wrestling's podcast show. They're great as well. I love those guys. They're great.
Yeah.
Fair point. That is fair. You look at the Blackpool Combat Club. Claudio's obviously a face. Yuta's obviously a face. Moxley kind of lives in his own dimension. He's sort of like the anti-heroes. Yeah. Also anti-heroes story. And then Brian's obviously a heel as well. He does a lot of heel stuff. And that's fair. There's a lot of clashing contrasts in there. Do I think Claudio fits in the Blackpool Combat Club? Yes, because the Blackpool Combat Club story is Regal. It's all about Regal. Moxley, history of Regal. Brian, Regal's basically dream baby boy. Claudio had the last ever match against Regal at like a WWE tryout show. That's just there. Then there's obviously Yuta. Yuta is like the pet project of Brian. So that's his pet project. If Moxley and Claudio bring in another young star to be their pet project, then that I feel like it works fine. But I do feel like there is a fair point of Claudio not fitting well, with him being very cheerful and into the crowd. But I feel like it's going to work itself out, work out a few kinks, and then it should work fine. But I do feel like it's like what Moxley said, that he wants to see the Blackpool Combat Club live on past the initial group. Yeah. And I feel like the way
like a Bullet Club thing.
Yeah, like a Bullet Club, like NWO sort of thing. You keep it to Regal being the idealist. He's like everyone basically adopts their style and technique after Regal's code. Like, say if Regal introduced like the King Regal code, you join Blackpool Combat Club, you have to follow the King Regal code, the code. And then Moxley, Brian, and Claudio then bring in 3 lower guys. Brian's got Yuta. Mox brings in Shota Umo from Japan, and Claudio can maybe bring in Preston 10 Vance of the Dark Order. Say he does that, because Preston and Claudio, I think, have got a very similar style. And then they teach their wisdoms of the King Regal code onto these 3 guys, and then eventually they maybe break off or do their own thing. Then Yuta, Preston 10 Vance, and Shoto move up the ranks and become like the head guys of the Blackpool Combat Club under Regal. And they bring in 3 new proteges and then instill their wisdom of the code of Regal onto them and rinse and repeat. So we have more experienced guys being top 3, bringing in 3 rookies to then elevate and move on to their position. And we've got a revolving door of elder guys bringing in new guys to elevate them and make them stars.
Yeah.
Is that it? Just no, that's perfection, bro. That's perfection.
No, I was just processing it all, but I like that. Yeah, that could definitely work. I do like the thing where he could just have his own entity and just build it off or just branch it off. Don't go NWO vibes, because that's
no.
Don't go that far.
Neat and to the point.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Ignacio? I know that Meeks is your boy, so yeah. What's do you agree with what he says regarding the Black Claudio and Blackpool Combat Club? Does he fit?
Well, I don't have a problem with the Blackpool Combat Club. The only issue I had with them is who they were paired with, the JSA, the Jerk Off Appreciation Society. But other than that, it's not like Claudio's out there kissing babies or anything.
No,
I mean, he's just trying to engage the crowd. I mean, this is Maybe that's why me and Meeks don't do the show together anymore, because I always had to tell him when he didn't know he was talking about. It's just I don't have an issue with Claudio's character. He's he's doing good in the ring. He doesn't have any issues as far as like his ring skills. That's for damn sure. Everybody, I think we all can agree on that. But I mean, I like the Blackpool Combat Club. To me, they're almost kind of like a UFC kind of camp kind of deal. That's what I always thought factions should be. Factions should be just like camps, just like they have in the UFC or boxing even or what have you. But I like it. I think Claudio's fits like a glove. I mean, these, like I said, the history around with Regal, the history with Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, Moxley in NXT and so forth, and then Wheeler Yuta, who did tremendous in that pure tournament when they did with they had it with ROH during the pandemic. That's when I first saw Wheeler Yuta, when he was in the first the tournament to crown the first pure ROH pure champion. Yeah. So I think he's a good fit. So I like him. I like it. I like where they're going with it. I'd like to see Claudio get away from the upper mid card and have a good main event run eventually, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully they give him a shot at that. But I mean, who knows? But I mean, I don't have an issue with anything what's going on with Claudio right now. I think he's been booked pretty well. They gave him the win at Blood and Guts. No matter what you think of the match, which you heard my opinion on it, it wasn't that great or wasn't too excited about it or whatever. But they gave him the win there. They gave him a win. They gave him a weigh-in on pay-per-view with Zack Sabre Jr. So yeah, I think he's getting booked pretty good so far. We'll see where they go from here.
Okay.
I will say we're going to get an interesting storyline development because we're getting Moxley and Yuta versus the Best Friends at Fyter Fest Week 2.
Yeah.
And obviously Yuta was aligned with the Best Friends for a long time.
Yeah.
Going against him with Moxley, maybe we could see some disdain between Moxley and Yuta. If Yuta's not wanting to, fucking break the jaws of his best friends.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Maybe. Yeah, that'll be a good test to see if he, does he choose friends over, loyalty or whatever, that kind of thing. So yeah, I
will say though, imagine a Blackpool Combat Club match when AEW comes to the UK. Oof.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll be not in Blackpool though. I wanted to come to London, but
I want to come to Edinburgh. Fuck off from the south. Come up to
bro.
Like, come up to the big boy leagues. Stay away from you fucking.
Do you even have an arena? Do you even have an arena? Like,
we've got plenty of arenas. We've got a fucking grass field out there. We could play 10 out there.
My case in point. Oh my god! All right, fair enough. But yeah, definitely, if we especially seeing Regal, that'll be the place would just have to be a huge pop. And yeah, it looks like it's going to happen regarding the UK thing. I think Jim Ross confirmed it. It's going to happen probably next year, more than likely next year. So yeah, definitely want to get front row seats.
I don't care if I have to work the day. I don't give a shit. I'm making it to that show, no matter what.
Yes,
I am. I'm clearing out the savings, buying all the merch. They've got like replica titles, the TNT title, TBS Women's. It's all fucking coming back home with me.
110%. So yeah, obviously, of course, leave your thoughts in the comments as well. What you think about is Claudio a good fit for BB? Keep it saying BBC, BCC,
hey, it's a family show here. God.
I know.
Dirty bastard.
Moving swiftly on. Just to wrap it up, as well. Obviously, SummerSlam is around the corner. Are you guys excited for SummerSlam?
Fuck off.
Yeah. So just quickly, regarding this probably is going to be the co-main event, maybe, or maybe even be kickoff. I don't know. But yeah, it's the Usos versus the Street Profits, and they've announced the special guest referee for the event. It is J.E.
Wild Slackness appears. Oh boy. Fuck.
You fucked up my intro. I was gonna do the whole spelling thing. But anyway, yeah, so Jeff Jarrett is gonna be in that match. Why? Because he's from Nashville and the show is at what? Nashville. That makes perfect sense. I just wanted to get your thoughts of like what was your reaction when you saw the announcement of Jeff Jarrett being the special guest referee?
It was pretty much, oh no. Anyway, let's continue.
What about you, Ignacio? Like, can you see some connection here? Like, can you please like dive into why did they choose Jeff Jarrett for such a high profile match? Why it's Usos and Street Profits, so it's going to be good. But can you see why they chose Jeff Jarrett besides him being from Nashville?
High profile, okay.
I forgot. Ignore what I said.
Well, I mean, it's Jarrett. He's from Nashville, so he can get the pop, and they can pop the crowd, and the lot of lineage with Nashville and Memphis and so forth. There, you don't know Jeff Jarrett's history. His family deep rooted in the Memphis and Nashville territories and so forth. Yeah. So that's all it is.
It's such a random match.
Excuse me?
It was such a random match. Like I was expecting Rikishi or someone like not Jeff Jarrett.
I mean, you can't. Well, I mean, from a story standpoint, you can't put Rikishi or Silo Sikoa or what have you, because then you got the family lineage and favoring the Usos. I mean, you can't go there. You got to have somebody. You got to have a neutral enforcer. Now, was Jarrett the right pick? I think it would have been better, or maybe made a little bit more sense to put Jarrett as a special referee in the main event.
Yes.
Against whatever, what have you, and then for those guys who pay attention outside of the WWE bubble, I mean, Jarrett was a special referee for Matt Cardona and Nick Aldis, and there were some shenanigans there. So I think maybe there's people expecting something like maybe Jarrett to turn into some type of authority figure on TV, which I think he would be great at. Yeah, and I think that's probably what's missing right now, is that we're missing an authority figure. Doesn't have to be a heel authority figure. They just have to have you have to have somebody on TV. And I think Adam Pearce, he does good, solid, but I think he needs a counterpart like a Jeff Jarrett. That way we can have a Raw and SmackDown GMs or commissioners or whatever you want to call them, but shot makers or shot callers with the respective brand. They don't have to be heels. They don't have to be heel authority figures. They don't have to be the next Mr. McMahon, but they have to have somebody involved. I mean, every sport has them. In the NFL or American football, it's Jerry Jones. Everybody knows who Jerry Jones is. We've had him in basketball and baseball. That somewhat larger than life. Larger than life authority figure that everybody recognizes, and I think Jarrett can bring that. I think he'd be great at it. I think if that's where they're going, great. But as far as the match itself, putting him in this match, it didn't really make any sense. It's just like to get the crowd pop, get the crowd popping. Yeah, Jarrett, and he's in Nashville. That's it.
The only thing I can say is now we're going to hear that stupid fucking Double J theme.
I know.
Why can't it be My World? Theme. Just give him My World, and then we'll be happy. Who knows? Maybe Effie will come out and try and beat him up for his rematch.
I mean, he never really had the best theme music, but I would rather, him have like his own Impact.
Dude, Jarrett's theme music in WCW was fucking awesome. The chosen one.
I'd have to see that after this. I don't remember. I never saw him back there. So
yeah, sorry, I was still a bunch of cells by that time.
So I'll have to listen to that, But yeah, I'm sure it will probably make sense eventually when it does happen. It just was so left field. That was the last person I was thinking of. I would have been fine with Steve Austin. Steve Austin has a lot of special guest referee experience. I would have been fine with that.
Another reason right now why they're doing it. Another reason why they're doing it is because Jarrett has a podcast right now and it's hot. So
okay.
Jarrett's got a podcast right now, and it's actually really, really good. And I encourage those of you who haven't heard it, check it out. But I mean, Jarrett's got a podcast that's hot. Maybe guys that hear the podcast, not that great of fans of WWE, and maybe they'll get some fans or some listeners from Hit Podcast to watch SummerSlam, watch Jarrett on TV, maybe get them interested in the pop product. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Maybe that's the angle that they're going with. But I mean, Jarrett's got a hot podcast, so maybe they're just trying to get viewers to watch the WWE product again, maybe. So
fair enough. Before we finish up, I want to raise one question. As we know, Ric Flair's last match is coming up. This train wreck.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
Go on.
He's still not got an opponent. We're 15 days out from this show, and he's got no opponent. So who do you want to see?
I got it's going to be a tag match. It's sure it's going to be a tag match.
Honestly, it's going to be a tag match where Ric Flair is going to have a 2-minute spot and then sit on the outside.
Hell yeah, more than likely. It'd be better. Oh, it's got to be a train wreck. Like for his legacy and for everyone's like sense of well-being, it better be a tag team match. And he just comes in.
Honestly, I really want his opponent to be Brian Cage, so he can just.
Oh my god! So you're gonna do the freaking spike suplex? Oh my god!
Yes, do it.
My, what's it called? Was it Death Clutch? I can't remember what it's called, but flipping hell! Oh god, that is graphic. But I want to see it.
We'll actually get people to buy it.
Man dies in ring. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
I mean, unless you have a better recommendation.
Everything else around it looks good.
Oh yeah, the whole upper show looks fucking decent. It's just the main event's gonna be utter dog shit.
Oh my! Are we actually gonna see him come out in a singlet, or like just a shirt?
God, it's gonna look like a wrinkled up ball sack.
Oh god! Imagine him just coming out with just the trunks. And just god, that's
honestly hope there's not like a blast of wind will end up flying away.
Oh my god! What you say, ACO?
Well, he is just gonna come out in the trunks. He's gonna be
hope not. Wear a shirt. We don't want to see that. We don't want to
wear a shirt, pal. Oh, damn it!
I mean, who do you want him to face?
Well, I mean, there was some talk about Steamboat, and then that fell through. You know, that would have been pretty cool to watch.
Yeah.
Hogan's too banged up. I mean, his health is not that good. I mean, I think it's the only other option, in my opinion, is whether it's a tag team match or not. The only other option I see, in my opinion, is Sting.
That's the old rivalry. Yeah, that's a good old rivalry.
If you want a match to pit him like Ric Flair as a person, you might as well have him face a divorce attorney.
Yeah,
for fuck's sake. Definitely.
But yeah, other than that, I really can't see, any other opponent that they would give him like around Flair's era of his prime.
So I'm saying Brian Cage because that'd be funny as shit. Inacio saying Sting, Chaos. Who are you saying?
Me personally, I would love if he could, probably Triple H. But I mean, but that's definitely out the window. That would have been cool. I'd rather see him in a tag match. I don't want to see him in a singles. So him against was it the Rock? What's the rumored one? FTR and the Rockers. I can't remember what it was.
Good. Well, there was talk about FTR being involved. The Rock and Roll Express already have a match scheduled, so it's actually Ricky Morton and his son.
Yeah, it's a lot of like MLW guys and Impact guys. I think like Jordan Grace is defending Knockout Championship and Triple Threat. Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, he's making a match appearance on the card. I think Josh Alexander's getting the Impact title on that.
I think we have the Von Erichs and the Briscoes.
Yeah, correct.
That's going to be interesting.
And then it's just a few other bits and bobs. But like,
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. I really think Sting's going to be involved, though. I could see Flair teaming up with FTR, and then maybe having Sting team up with an AEW tag team. I can't think of anybody at the top of my head that would bring any significance to that type of match in AEW other than FTR. But we'll see. It's gonna be interesting.
Apparently, Ric Flair is calling out Chris Jericho. Your favorite person. Your favorite person is calling. Apparently, he's saying something about him.
I honestly can see Rick just like going through all his contacts and just be like, "Hey, I know we've not talked in a while, but can we meet up?"
Well, I was gonna watch it.
Oh boy. I mean, it's not confirmed, but Ric Flair has literally pretty much called out Jericho, so we'll see what happens. I fucking hope not. That doesn't happen. Jericho does not need that match. And he doesn't need that asterisk just in case there's a fatality in the ring. He doesn't need that on his resume.
God, this is going to be a nightmare.
Like, imagine him hitting the Judas effect on Ric Flair. He ain't moving.
Just his false teeth pop out with his jaw, and it's like, oh shit.
He's not. That's it. That'll be his last.
Just imagine him trying to take like a simple chop to the chest.
Oh God! You just hear every bone crack.
Mate, this isn't going to be a match. This is going to be elder abuse.
It's going to be elder abuse, 100%, man. Oh my God! Oh, it's going to be hilarious but disturbing at the same time. I just know it. But yeah, please. I don't know. You may watch this, you may not, Ric Flair, but please wear a shirt. That's what I'm saying. We don't want to see that wrinkle that body. We don't. So yeah, on that glorious note, we've come to the end of this enjoyable episode. As always, thank you very much, Ignacio and Soul. Yeah, like I said before at the beginning of the show, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way, helps us and makes us know that you actually appreciate the show. And obviously leave your comments. We do read them. We might reply, we might not. So also follow us at Wrestling Republic on Instagram and Twitter as well. Yeah, until next time, guys, this has been Taken to the Table. Until next time, guys, peace.